Hi, I'm Mark Pledger from Rapala VMC, and today I'm very proud to introduce you to the Victrix brand of rifles. Victrix have a number of different rifles that they produce, or their creations. One of them is the Minerva series. The second one is the Victoria series, which concentrates more on the sport shooting like F-Class Open, FTR and long distance shooting. And the other one is Linnae Hunting series. Today we're going to have a closer look at the Gladius series. Gladius has a number of different rifles within the category. They have the Pugio, which is a very small, compact 308 built rifle. Then they've got the Gladius. The Gladius, you can get it in 260, 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor. Then they go to the Scorpio series, which is their 338 Lapua. Then the Beast, the Tormentum, which is a 375 Shytac or 408. And then Victrix is also launching a new 50 BMG very shortly called the Corvus. And we will hopefully be getting one of these into South Africa in the next month or two. But today we're going to be looking at the Gladius series. And this is actually my personal rifle. And it's an absolute beauty to shoot. But let's run through some of the details on this rifle. When you're looking at the Gladius, you've got three different options in the Gladius. The first one is the Melee series, which is their new military style version of the rifle, and that was launched now in 2018. And then on the standard series, you've got either a TGT or a TCT version. This here that we're looking at is the TCT version, but we'll put up some specs on the TGT version as well. The beauty about this gun is that it's built on a full aluminium chassis, but the aluminium chassis is a chassis that you can adapt to you as the shooter yourself. The nice thing is that you can adjust it, you can adjust cant, you can adjust height, and you can adjust the actual length of the buttstock as well. So you can adjust it in almost any axis. The system has also got, the rifle also has a very unique folding stock, so a very military style setup. And even with this folding, when you lock it back into place, there is absolutely zero movement on the rear rest. So as an actual shooting platform, this gun is superb and is very, very comfortable to shoot out to 1,000 meters. There are a few unique things about this rifle. The inletting is an Accuracy International inletting, so you can happily go and change any of your magazines. It comes stock standard with the Victrix magazine, or you can go and buy aftermarket any form of AI magazine, and that will happily fit into the rifle as well. The nice thing about this as well is that your release lever on your magazine is a very positive release lever. But also you notice that I have to pull it forward to actually release it. So if you're shooting any of your PRS style shooting that's very, very quick and you have to shoot multiple rounds, you can happily go for an extended magazine, but you don't have the chance of actually releasing the magazine by mistake by pushing it forward. By pushing this over an obstacle. You have to physically push the lever forward quite a way in order to actually release the magazine. One of the most amazing things on this rifle is the actual action. I don't know if you can see nicely, but the action has got a really nice, almost gloss gleam to the action. And this action, the reason why it's got this special gloss is that it's got a very special coating that actually impregnates the stainless steel. And this coating is called PVD. PVD stands for physical vapor deposition. It's a very unique, very expensive way to actually treat stainless steel. And what it does is it increases the actual tensile strength of that stainless steel significantly. When I say significantly, we're talking about roughly 20 times. So this action, as it stands here today, has the equivalent of diamond hardness. So the nice thing about that, it means for any heavy shooting application, the chance of you doing any damage to the action is almost zero. It also means that you can run it dry, so you don't pick up, if you're shooting in very dusty areas, you don't pick up any dust back onto your lugs or your bolt or anything like that. And the third thing is that if you actually feel the action, it's the smoothest action I've ever felt, ever. The bolt release is a very positive bolt release. You'll notice that we've got a 3-lug system offset. The nice thing as well is that it's very easy to see if your firearm is actually armed, because there's your firing pin pulls back and there's a nice big red band there that it's easy to see if your rifle is safe or not. There you can see rifle is safe. As soon as you load it, it makes it very, very easy to see the status of your rifle. The platform continues into a separate chassis. This chassis here in the TCT version has a rail at the top, 2 little side rails, as well as a Picatinny rail in the back, and a very nice easy carry handle to carry the gun around as and when you require. The trigger is a trigger that's designed by Victrix themselves. On the tactical series, you have 2 options, either a lighter version of the trigger or a slightly heavier version. For South Africa, we have decided to go for the lighter version, and the reason being is we use a lot of these type of rifles in our everyday shooting disciplines. So it's not just the tactical application, it's also for a shooting platform. The trigger is very easy to adjust, and a shooter can easily adjust it to what they're very comfortable with. Should the shooter decide to actually change it to another trigger, it is based on a Remington 700 platform, so there's many good aftermarket triggers that you can actually put in there, or you could even look at maybe putting in one of the Victrix sport shooting triggers. The barrel on this specific gun is a 26-inch barrel. All the guns that we're bringing into the country at the moment on the Gladius TCT platform are all 26, so it can happily accommodate any of our local powders. But obviously for better performance, we do recommend international powder like a Vitavori. The twist rates vary depending on the actual caliber. In the 6.5, you're looking at an 8.5 twist rate, so perfect for anything from 115 grain monolithic, 123 grain Senar up to a 139 grain Senar. Coming down to the stock, we've got markings on the stock that it makes it very easy for you to adjust. So for example, I shoot a huge amount with my young son, a 9-year-old, and it's easy for us to go backwards and forwards from his setting on the stock to our stock. On the stock itself, you release the knob until the part actually moves freely, line it up to the next marking, and then simply lock it back in place. On your cheek rest, you've got a very, very nice soft finish feel on the top there, so it's really comfortable and ergonomically designed for a cheek piece. You'll also notice that they're little lock-in points, so it's very hard to actually make a mistake when you pop the item back and you want to lock it in a very specific height. Make sure you get the line in place, and you lock it directly into those pins, so there's no chance of any movement. Again, the tolerances, the build quality is absolutely perfect, and it's designed for long distance shooting. Victrix, one thing that really sets Victrix aside to anybody else is that their strive for perfection is not controlled by the cost of materials. They only use the best barrels available, and even those best barrels available still go through a very unique screening process with them. And if they don't pass their standards, those barrels are actually rejected, sent back to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer will sell that to the balance of the world. When they come to the chambers, you'll notice this piece in my hand here is cut out on the chamber. You'll notice that the chamber itself, depending on how it's catching the light here, looks unbelievably polished. And the reason why it's so polished is that Victrix will use their reamers a maximum for 5 barrels. So they run them at significantly higher RPM, run about 2,400 RPM, which does burn out that reamer very quickly. So as I said, maximum they'll use that same reamer for 5 barrels, but you get a very smooth, polished feel or polished look in the actual chamber. This Victrix Gladius TCT version is built with the same attention to detail like any top quality shooting competition rifle, but it's put together in a very aggressive, very adjustable military style package, and it's an absolute pleasure to shoot. We hope you found it very informative. We hope to see you out on the range. You're more than welcome to have a go with my rifle. If you see me, just give me a shout and let me know. For any additional information, please don't hesitate to contact us. Our information details are below, and happy